So here's an update on my citrus trees. It's an early spring update, and it's April, and everybody's been asking me about my orange tree, and they want to know about it and how it's doing. Well, unfortunately, my orange tree is actually dead. It died because of the frost, and it almost killed my key lime tree, which is right here, and I'll get to that in a little bit. The update on this guy. But I still have my now 9-year-old tree that I planted, and if you want to go 9 years ago and check out the videos of where I actually planted this as a seed, it's here on my channel, and we'll talk about him. There's a huge update last summer for this guy, but first I'd like to talk about my improved Meyer lemon tree. That's what this is, and for those of you who don't know, a Meyer lemon is a real sweet lemon. It tastes just like a lemon, but it doesn't have that sour, acidic, bitter taste. You can bite right into it like an orange, and you can just eat it. And this tree actually grows a lot of lemons. You can see all the buds and all the flowers. And if you look real close, if you see this little guy was a flower, and it's going to be a lemon there. That's what happens. The petals fall off after it's been pollinated. And the bees have been doing a good job of that. And you can see there's a ton on this guy. And these won't all become lemons. A lot will, though, surprisingly. They're actually blooms all year. But he, this time of year, really grows it. And I'd like some more leaves. And if you look closely, you can see some new baby leaves coming, and that's good, because that's what I'm after too. That's what I'd like. So they lost a lot of leaves. This was a rough winter on them, and you'd think that this end was dead and I'd trim it, but if you look, it's actually growing a blossom, so it's not dead. But this winter was tough on it. Here in Texas we got those very cold days, and I didn't want to lose these guys, and I actually took them into the garage, and they were okay. They didn't die. So I was very happy about that, because what happened the year before, I didn't want to happen again. If you look at this branch is a very curve. As you can see, it goes straight down. That's because last year I lost all my lemons except for one. And it will grow full-size lemons. I mean, like what you would buy in a store. And it had one on the end of this branch, and it weighted it down, as you can see, and it bent the branch. And I thought the branch would go back up when I took the fruit off, and it didn't. It just stayed like that. So that's how this is. So this is the improved Meyer lemon tree. And as you can see, it's got a ton of blossoms on it, a ton of flowers. And I'm going to keep updating you guys on this. Maybe I'll show you some of the little lemons that end up growing. I see one right here. See that under the leaf there? See that little? That's going to be the new lemon, and it'll grow. And it will lose a bunch. It would never hold this much fruit, but it will grow a lot. So moving right along. We'll get to this guy in a little bit, my little seedling, who's still kicking here. But I'd like to talk about my key lime tree. Now my key lime, and this is a key lime, not a regular lime. If you're thinking of like the limes like this, that are lime green, in the stores you see them all the time. This is a key lime, and they are different. Key limes are more like golf ball size, and they're round, and they're more yellowish green. So what happened with this guy is he was probably this tall. And when that frost hit last year, it was a late frost. I didn't think it was going to damage the trees. They had been outside. But unfortunately, it did. And it started killing them from the top down. And like I said, it killed my orange tree completely. So I noticed that it was just dying and it was going down, so I tried to head it off at the pass, and I cut it really low down here. And you can see here is where it was. And I cut that off and it saved it. It started to sprout again, and that's right where the graft line is, by the way, but it didn't. It's definitely the key lime part. It's not the old growth. It's actually the key lime part, because that's what I was worried about. And it started growing again. So last year it grew all these branches, and you can see this one is dead here. And this one is dead here, and I'm gonna prune those. I'm gonna prune all three of these. Actually, I think they all need it. This is the time of year to do it. Probably a little late too, but we've still had cold weather. Believe it or not, it was 37 degrees yesterday here in North Texas. So this guy will also grow a ton of limes. I got limes all off of him. Even last year, he was still able to grow some. See a little flower there, and it's got there's a little lime starting right there. Another flower right there, and I'm going to trim this guy up and kind of get him to be bushier instead of, he's kind of sparse. He needs a little bit of a haircut prune there. So that's the key lime tree, and he's doing all right. You almost lost him, but I was able to save him, but not the orange tree. So now this, of course, is, if you look at 4 years ago in my last update video of my citrus trees, which I'm planning on doing a lot more this year, by the way, if you want to. This is that same tree, the one that was kind of bent. Still working on straightening him out, but he is much thicker now. It's fuller. And last year, for the first time ever, it grew a blossom. The first one ever. It took 8 years. It was 8 years old last year. I actually planted them in September, so it'll be 9 in September. It's April now. But it grew the first one last year, and it was really exciting because I wasn't sure if it was ever going to happen, to be honest. And citrus trees can take, if they're planted, they can take about 8 years for it to happen. So it was really special when it happened. I was really thrilled. It didn't become a fruit. It ended up just falling off. One blossom, the odds of it becoming a fruit aren't that great. So that was kind of disappointing, but I'm hoping this year it grows a lot more. I think I need to prune it as well, because I want it to get even bushier and taller. And honestly, for a 9-year-old tree, it is not that big at all, but it's doing a lot better than it used to do. It definitely I think has an iron deficiency and magnesium deficiency. So now that these guys have woken up and they're starting to put out new growth, I've been putting the Epsom salt to them and fertilizing. And Epsom salt, it's not actually salt. It's I think it's magnesium sulfate. But it'll help to make the leaves a nice dark green. And this tree has always been lighter, but I think that's also an iron deficiency, not just magnesium. But if I can let me find you this one grows new leaves very quickly. In fact, here's one, I think. This one, yeah, this is a new leaf. And you can see it's smaller, but they grow so fast that you'll see new growth, and then all of a sudden you won't be able to find it because it'll be full sized. So there's some little leaves here. But again, I think I'm going to prune this, and unfortunately, anybody that knows anything about pruning trees can tell you, if you look down here of how the trunk grows and the stems, it's definitely not the best shape. You can see they all kind of go in the same direction, and they cross through the middle, and that's not how you want a fruit tree to be. Now, I personally don't care a whole lot because, this is just kind of like a pet tree. I'm not trying to get, fruit off of it. I'm not even sure what kind of lemon it is. I want to say maybe Eureka. It has, a lot of thorns on it, and the improved Meyer lemon does not, but this one does. And believe me, when When you grab a hold of this and one of these gets you, you'll know it. You'll know it for sure. But it's not something where I really want to take off, because if you can see, that's one of its biggest branches right here. But if I was really pruning this the correct way, I would want to take this off. It shouldn't be growing this direction back into the tree and then up through the middle. That's not ideal for fruit trees. But citrus trees are a little bit different. It's not an apple tree, and like I said, it's just kind of for fun. I'm not trying to get it to yield fruit. It's not like a fruit producer for me or something like that. But you can see there's it's just a lot of mess down here, and it's not ideal for a fruit tree. But I'm not sure I want to prune that much off of it. We'll see. But I'm going to give them a little bit of a pruning, straighten them up a little bit, and that'll be coming up real soon. And I'm going to do another update. After I do that, we'll fertilize these guys, get some nice nutrients back in the soil after the long winter and long cold winter, and we'll see how many of these turn into lemons. You can see right here, these are the flowers, and you can smell this, pretty far away. It's very fragrant. The bees been visiting it. When it's warm enough, it's been real cloudy and windy here, and so they haven't been around, but they were really working it the other day. And you can see some of these, these already fell off, and they won't be, see how they just fall off? Those aren't pollinated or whatever, they just didn't make it. They're not going to be fruit. Here's one from last year that's still on there, and it's black, see? And that's never gonna be a fruit. Now here, you'll see that little guy is on his way to becoming a lemon. Up here, those couple won't. These couple right here won't, and they'll just fall right off. But these flowers may. So it just depends. And I don't know if that's because of pollination and, bees didn't get to them or whatever, but not exactly 100% sure about that. So anyways, those are the updates on these three guys, my 3 citrus trees, and I plan to get more because I really would like to replace the orange tree that I lost. Still not happy about that. I really should just brought it in and didn't take a chance. It made it the whole winter just fine, because these guys stay green in the wintertime. They don't lose their leaves like other trees, so he was fine, and then that last frost got him. Brought him down on the 1 yard line, so I was really upset about that, because I had that tree for 8 years also. Didn't plant him from a seed like this guy. That's why this guy is real special to me. I really don't want to lose him, and he's been through a lot. This was the one that lost all its leaves because of the heat, and I thought it was dead when I first moved to Texas. And then I just said, oh wow, that's too bad. And then it rained for like 3-4 days straight, and I noticed that he had buds all over him, like growing new leaves, and I was like, wow, it's still alive. So I started taking care of him again, and that was about 6 years ago. So he's still here. And if you're wondering about the other seeds that I planted with this guy, if you go back and watch those videos, I had a ton of them, orange and lemon. I believe there are 2 more of those seedlings still alive. One, a friend of mine back in Pennsylvania I gave to, and the last I heard, I think even last year, she was saying it's still alive. And then I gave a couple to my sister. She killed all hers, but she gave one to a friend. And the last I heard, that friend said that is an orange tree, it's still growing, and it actually produces fruit every year. So I thought that was pretty neat. So there's probably about 3 of these left in existence. Maybe those 2 are dead at this point. I don't even know. I haven't talked to anybody this year. I'll try to find out. Maybe I can get a picture of those. That'd be kind of neat. But other than that, this is the sole survivor of the lemons anyways. And he's still kicking, and I really, really, really hope it has more fruit on it this year. I'm going to do a lot with feeding it and pruning and trying to get it to produce some fruit. I really would like to see that. So that's the update, and I will keep you guys updated. Well, when I have more, when more things happen with these guys, I will definitely let you know. But if you can see the amount of just blossoms on here. So if you see an improved Meyer lemon tree at your garden store or Home Depot or Lowe's, I really suggest getting one. They're great. I've really enjoyed this. Produces fruit all year, produces flowers all year, even in the wintertime. So, you always kind of have something real easy to grow. Very forgiving. Citrus trees are very forgiving. And like I said, the lemons are great. You know what they're great for? Lemonade. Because they're already sweet and you don't have to put a lot of sugar into it after you make it. You just can use the actual fruit juice and just a little bit more of little bit of sugar, and then make some great lemonade. So that's the improved Meyer lemon. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and here's something special. I know this has been a long update, but if you're still with me and you watch this and you want me to, leave a comment saying, hey, I made it to the end, I watched the whole thing, and I will give you a shout out on my next video. I will actually read your name and I'll say that person stuck around, thank you, and I'll say your name. And that's if anybody's made it to the end right now. I don't know, I could be talking to myself here. I talk to myself a whole lot throughout the day, so it's nothing new for me, but thank you if you did stay. Thank you for staying and checking out my fruit trees. I love these guys. I think I'm gonna get a couple more too. We'll see what we have in the future. I'll definitely do videos on them. Everybody seems to like these fruit trees, and I do too. I watch a lot of videos about these things too. So thanks for stopping by, and that is the update a lot of people have been asking. That's what it is. And leave me a comment telling me you made it, and I'll give you a shout out in a video coming up very soon, because I'm going to keep doing these. I like these. All right, thanks for stopping, guys. Have a great day.